The median versus the mean. So the median is the middle score in a set of data when it's in order from smallest to largest, and the mean is the average, all the data points added up and shared between the number that there were. Both of these are different ways of saying this is normal for this set of data, because we want to know what's normal. It helps us in decision making. This data shows the incomes of the 5 people in a small startup company. And it's listed here. Find the median. So they're in order. So the median is the middle score of 78,000. Sorry about that. Find the mean. We'll add all these up and divide by the number of scores there are, which is 5. Remember, when you're adding them up, we're going to be very careful to hit equals at the end before we divide. So add 280,000. Make sure you hit enter to get your total. Now that's the total of what all those 5 people earned altogether. An average says, what if we took all of that and shared it evenly? That's one way of thinking about normal. So we'll share it evenly between the 5 people and get an average of 115,600. So our proper working, you don't have to show all your adding up, but you do have to show 578,000 divided by 5, or you could write divided by sign, equals, and this is money, so it's 115,600. Now you'll see that's a big difference between these two ways of thinking about what's normal for this company. Is normal around 78,000 or is normal 115,000? And to understand the difference between the mean and the median and how they're affected by outliers, we need to think about the outlier here. Because when you look at these, 65,000, 73,000, 78,000, 82,000, they're all pretty normal salaries. 280,000 is really big. Chances are that's the owner of this small startup company. So this isn't a very normal salary at all. It's an outlier. It's way above the rest of the data. And if we're looking at what's normal for this company, we might not want to consider this. Because when you look at the average, that's not very normal. Nobody in this company has a salary of around about 115,000. 4 people have a salary of less. 1 person's got a salary of much more. This isn't a very good normal value. Whereas this, 78,000, that's a pretty standard sort of salary in this company. That's kind of normal. Now what we can look at is what happens when we remove the outlier. So let's put a line through that and just look at what is normal for these scores. Find the median. Well, now we've got the problem that there's only 4 scores. So the median is halfway between 73 and 78,000. So we'll have to do working. We average 73,000 plus 78,000, and we're averaging, so we divide by 2. That's how we find the median when there's an even number of scores. We average the 2 middle scores. Again, 73,000 plus 78,000. Hit equals to get your total. Divide by 2. The median is 75,500. There we go. Which is still pretty close to my original median of 78,000. Find the mean with the outlier removed. That means we're only going to add up these 4 scores. 65,000. So we have our total. We write that in. The mean equals 298,000 divided by, now there's only 4 scores now that we're considering. We divide that by 4, 74,500. Look at the big drop in the average, the mean, when we took out the outlier. It went from 115,000 down to 74,000. But there wasn't much drop in the median at all. It only went from 78 to 75,000. Now that we've taken out the big outlier, the median and the mean both give a pretty normal statement. This around here is normal for this company. When we had the outlier in, the median still gave us a pretty good idea of normal, but the average, the mean, was way skewed out because of this outlier. So what we want to learn from this is that an outlier in the data changes the mean a lot. Sorry there. But doesn't change the median much. And this is important for when people are talking about what's normal. Because if this company was trying to hire you and they said a normal salary is 115,000, that might make you think that you were going to get 115,000, but even if they said the average salary is this. But if you were just being hired, if you weren't the boss, you're getting something down here. So it's really important to know how people can use the different measurements to maybe give you a bit of a weird idea about what's true.